Hello, it's Chris, and I'm going to be showing you how to create a database which will help with your creating using technology and managing information systems in technology exam. I'm going to go through an example of something like what you'll be doing in the exam, drawing from Richard's worksheets, and yeah, that's what we're doing. So without further ado, let's crack on with it. We're using Microsoft Access for the database, of course. There are other database systems you can use, but for the purpose of this exam, you have to use Microsoft Access. So we're going to go through. I'm going to be working through these worksheets one by one and giving you a little bit of context, a little bit of extra explanation, and hopefully that'll help you with your revision. So I'm going to be creating a database in Microsoft Access, and we're going to be following a brief, which is the scenario is you've been asked to create a database for smart art. The company runs exhibitions in art galleries. Galleries are either combo or commercial. A combo gallery is a gallery in the premises of another company. For example, a furniture store that displays the art. Artists show their work at exhibitions in the galleries, and the database is going to record information about galleries, artists, and exhibitions. So there's a few other things to consider as well. An exhibition runs for at least 3 days, and it doesn't run for any more than 10 days. An exhibition is for a single artist and is to be held in a single gallery. So that gives some hint for the type of relationships in the database tables. And then data kept about the artist includes a surname and initial of the first name, and the initial must be uppercase. So before you create anything in Microsoft Access, it's important to get a good idea about what you're building. So there is some sample data that's been provided, but it's not recorded in a way that's suitable for a database. So it's your responsibility as a database designer to identify potential what is known as entities or tables from this data. Consider what primary keys should be used per entity. Now, a primary key is a unique identifier basically for a data in a table. So for example, if you had a table called products, you'd have a product ID, right? So if you're in the store, each product in the store is going to have an ID, right? I hope that makes sense. Also identify the relationships between the entities and then assign what's known as foreign keys, which we'll go on to later. And then you need to think about data types. So data types are, like a number is a number, for example. It's an easy one. So if it's between 1 and pretty much any number, it's a number. If it's text, then that's a different type of that is a different type of data type. Anyway, let's create this database. So the place is called Smart Art.
So we've got a blank database. I'm going to
create a blank database.
Save as, because I want to save it as that. I'm going to save database as Microsoft database. Save as. Alright, so we've got this is the interface for for Microsoft Access. So we've got the create panel here. I'll just go over this a little bit. So that allows us to create a table, which is how we record the data. How we, it's quite important. Tables quite fundamental. A database is basically a bunch of tables that have data with different data types, and then a database. There's the relationship between those different tables of data. Table design. So that's for design view. You can do form design. So if you want to create interfaces for users to be able to add data to tables using a nice form. Query designs for running queries. There's no requirement to learn SQL in these exam, but it's important to know what that is. Structured query language is what SQL stands for, and it's a way of querying a database that we're creating. So you got there's the create tab. External data, we don't have to worry about at all. We've got reports here, which we'll also be doing later on. And you run macros. Compact and repair databases helps you debug it basically. But let's go into this first part here before I go into any of that. So from looking at the creating the database sheet, which I'll put up on the screen, these are the possible, so yeah, you need to think about how you can organize the fields that we have above into tables. So this has already been done for you. You've got set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4. Set 1 contains exhibition ID, number of days, exhibition start date and predicted sales. Set 2 has artist ID, artist surname, artist initial. Set 3 has gallery ID, gallery. And set 4 has gallery type ID and gallery type. So spend 2 minutes just thinking about where you think, which table you think you would name each of those sets of data. So I'll give you a minute to do that. Okay, so this set 1 is exhibition ID, is an exhibition. It's for storing data about exhibitions. The next one obviously is artist ID, so it's artists. Then we've got gallery, which stores information about the gallery, and then we also have gallery type. So you'd call those something common sense like TBL, uppercase exhibitions, TBL, lowercase, and then uppercase A, artists, and galleries and gallery types. That's a useful naming convention. It's called camel case. It's also used in programming a lot, where you have the first word in lowercase and then the second word has a uppercase. So that's good naming convention to understand, because then you know if you ever need to find any of these tables, if you need to search for them for any reason, you know that it's a table because it's got TBL in front. So how do we define primary keys? Anyway, let me just create an example table of that now. So I'll just do that quickly. Okay, so we're going to create the table structure for the exhibitions. So we'll take this as an exercise in how to add the correct data type. So we've got number of days, which is going to be of type number of days, Then we're going to add exhibition start date. Not that. This is some random bug in Access. Number of days, which is going to be a date and time. Exhibition start date, which is going to be of type date. Start, and make sure it's spelled correctly as well. Notice the format of how I'm doing this as well. Every field heading is capitalized. There we go. Let's return. And then I'm going to add predicted sales, which will do that as a large number actually. Actually, no, we'll just do it as a number. Probably not going to have that many sales. You know, I think a large number is very, very large, so we'll just put number for now. Predicted sales. Bada bing, bada bosh. We've got a table. We're also going to save it as something else, so save that. And we're not going to call it table 1. We're going to call it, as I said before, table exhibitions. We've got our first table. There's no data in it, but we've got a table. And then you want to. So we'll leave that one for now. And I'll create the other tables and then just off camera. But it follows the same pattern. Okay, so I've created those tables now. Just there, with the following fields, and they're correctly formatted, I think. And I've added the types. So next we need to work out the relationships, and we need to assign what's known as a foreign key. So to do this, we need to think about how these 4 different tables will all logically link together, right? So read the statement from the scenario. So artists will show their work at exhibitions in the galleries. So there's clear relationships between artists, exhibitions, and galleries. So to work out where to place a foreign key, it's a good idea to use one-to-many relationships as a guide. So if you have one exhibition, say this is an exhibition, I don't know why this one, or whatever, like, we'll do Shadows of Doom. Say this is an exhibition, it's an exhibition called Shadows of Doom. So one exhibition is for one artist in this example. So this is the artist. So there's going to be like but there's going to be many exhibitions, right? So you know, it's probably going to be in one gallery, but there's going to be many exhibitions. So one exhibition is for one artist, but one artist can have many exhibitions. You know, maybe they're a really successful artist. Maybe this man is a very, very successful artist, and they keep on wanting him back to put on more shows. So that would be an example of a one-to-many relationship, because they keep on wanting him back for all the different exhibitions. So you would need to use the artist ID as what's known as a foreign key in the exhibitions table to create that link between both the tables, right? And you can also use the same logic to say that one exhibition is in one gallery, but you know, one gallery is going to have lots of exhibitions, obviously. That means we'd use gallery ID as a foreign key in the exhibitions table, and then you're going to have to create an actual link between those in the software access, which doesn't have a relationship; they're just disconnected at the minute. And the gallery types are either combo or commercial, remember, so I have to take that into account. So one gallery has one gallery type, but a gallery type could apply to many galleries, and then we can use gallery ID as a foreign key in the galleries table. So what we're going to do is we're going to start structuring our tables with that information in mind. So exhibitions is going to have two foreign keys, so let's start with that one. So we're going to add a new field. I'm going to call it we're going to call it exactly the same, so it will be artist ID. That's going to be a foreign key, and then we're going to go rename that to artist ID again, another foreign key. Oh, not artist ID. Sorry, exhibition ID. Exhibition ID, maybe the other way around actually, so I should really do that. I'll swap them around. Exhibition ID, there we go, exhibition ID, and we've already got the gallery ID, but we'll move this around, so just put that there. Just make sure it's the same order. So our primary key, in fact, I did this wrong before, so we've got exhibition ID, which is for the exhibition. Oh, I did that wrong anyway, so I need to rename that to exhibition ID. Right, so this is our primary key. Gallery ID. What do I call this? Rename this exhibition ID. Okay, so I've already got the primary key here, which is exhibition ID. We've got the gallery and artist ID then. Okay, cool. We'll do it in the other tables now. So we've got just a primary key in artist ID. There's no requirement to do anything there. Galleries, we need to add a foreign key for gallery type ID, so that we can add that. So just add that here. We're going to make still it's going to be a type number probably for now. I'm going to call it gallery. This is just a reference to that data with foreign. That'll be our foreign key. So just make sure that's fine. Gallery type ID. I'll go here. I also need to save this. I forgot to save it as the. We're going to save it as, right click, save as, table, gallery types. That was my bad, I forgot to do it. and then gallery type ID, gallery type ID, gallery type ID. There we go. Yeah. There's no foreign key there, so we've only got the 2 foreign keys. Some things to note. You can determine data types, which is if a number or text. Use the sample data as a guide. So ID fields are number data types, but you do need them to increase automatically. So if they are primary keys, the data type should be auto number. But then when it's a foreign key from another table, you want to set it as number. So the thing to remember there is, like, we've got this exhibitions. This has got 2 primary keys. These need to be set to number, which they're not actually at the minute. That's bad. They need to be. So I'm going back there to do that. Show that. That's now a number field. I've just added it in like by clicking number up there. And I'm going to go gallery ID. And this one's an auto number, so if I created a new field, it would just automatically go on to the next row. And I'll just double check everything's fine. There's one other place where there's the gallery type ID is a number. I think for some reason I just accidentally forgot it before, or yeah. There we go. So that is a structured breakdown of how we've taken raw data and broken it down into different parts, basically logically, and then we've created our foreign keys, and now we can go into creating the relationships between the tables. So that's done. Really what we're doing here is creating something called an entity relationship diagram, but in Microsoft Access that is done through the relationships. This is done through here. So we've clicked on to relationship design. We're going to add tables. We're going to add every table basically. So I'm just going to select all. I'm going to hold down shift, add selected tables. There we go. So now you see this little key icon here means that's a primary key. But obviously we need to create our foreign keys so that those tables are linked together. So let me do that this way. I'm going to drag artist ID to there, and this is very important. Click enforce referential integrity. You can see the one-to-many type there, which is what we want. Cascade delete related records. So always remember to do that when you create these one-to-many relationships. Click create. Yeah, make sure that you close the tables when you do this. Enforce referential integrity. Do all that. So you want to click all of those. Create. Now we've got our first one-to-many table relationship. And then what we want to do next is we want to go and do the same for the gallery type. It's the primary key there. I wanted to create that one there. It's another one-to-many. So because each gallery is going to have one type of gallery that it is. Can't be 2 types. Can't be like a Schrodinger's cat thing. Can't be that. It's impossible. And we are going to, and then there is, we need to link these 2 together as well. So do this once it loads, if it doesn't crash. Okay, so enforce referential one-to-many again, because one gallery is going to have many exhibitions. So there we go. Gallery ID, many exhibitions. Many galleries can have one gallery type. One artist can have many exhibitions. So your final entity relationship gallery should look like that. And then we've created the basic structure. Now that's all for part 1. We'll go on to part 2 after this. If I put in some example data, I think that'd be worth looking at too. So if I just save all this. Okay, this is where we need to start adding some data for artists as well, so I'll just do that quickly. So I'm going to create Mr. Smith Brown, that memorable fella, not that. Smith, and we're going to give him the name, the initial J, and I'm going to do that just like for a few of these. So, well, no, I can't do it that way, can I? That's rubbish. Yeah, there you go. So just that'll help actually to see the how the relationship links them all together. You now got like you know, I can add whatever, like one baton gallery, and I'll make it 2, and then I'll just add a bunch of these. Trent Reznor gallery. Galleries. Are you joking? On about. There you go. And I'll just save all this because for some reason, unless I save every second, it doesn't really get it. So you got it's galleries, and then you can go. Probably want to do from like the top level would be to go. You know, like we put in like artist ID. We've got 4 artists in there now, so we're gonna add number of days 23. We're gonna add select. This is gonna start now, and the predicted sales will be 20,000. If I then click save, go to the okay, right. So now I've set all that up. I've got exhibitions, and I've got this. I can look at exhibitions. I've got, you know, got with all the different setups, and I've got this. I've pre-filled this with gallery types. I'm going to pre-fill this table. I already pre-filled that with Blancmange, Cracker, Modern, Blancmange, Contemporary, Contemporary, and then I've got different gallery types. So for each gallery type, and I've got the artists in there. Let me just double check that. Yeah, I've got like 2 artists. I'll add a few more. Bob, C, I don't know, and Trent, R, P. I'm just gonna add a bunch of random names. Mary, L, Todd. It doesn't really matter. Oh, not that one. Todd F. Right, there we go. Save all that, and then I should, if I go to, I should be able to add exhibitions from here now. So if I go to galleries, I can add gallery ID. I'm not going to do anything there. Artist ID, which artist I want to select 2. I'm going to create number of days, 24. Exhibition start date next week, and predicted sales, that one. And I want to do that for the same for number 3. But in the past, we've not specified that we can't do that, so that's fine. Artist ID again, different one, 4. And you see the exhibition ID is automatically incrementing there, so that's the auto number in action. Basically, that's the automatic auto number in action. Basically, select another date, could be any date, literally any date in time. That's really going to sell. He's a good artist, up and comer. Number of days, going to be running only for a week, and he's going to sell like 5 grand there. There we go. Just click save, and yeah, you can see that now. There's that hopefully helps a bit. With main things to remember is you've got to think about how you're modeling these tables and breaking them down into different chunks. Now getting used to the interface itself is a learning process, but once you get that sort of understanding, the rest of it should come. Remember database tools and relationships. Remember the rules for auto number and number for the foreign key and primary key is an auto number. Foreign keys are just a number. Because this is basically a reference to this. So it's just a reference in the database to an auto number, if that makes sense. So it doesn't have to also be an auto number. An auto number automatically goes up. A number is just a type, right? Okay, that should be it. That's it for number 1. So we'll go on to the next stage.
Hello, it's Chris again, and we are looking at creating a database part 2 worksheet. And in this part 2 of the worksheets that Rich has handed out that I'm going out with you, we're going to be doing a presence check. We're going to be doing validation. So validation means that you are looking for certain conditions to be met when you are entering data into a field. So for example, you'd want to check that a field is not null when a user is creating a new record. So not null, null is null just means nothing really, so it's an empty value. So you're checking that something's been entered into that data, that field. That would be a form of validation. A length check, which is checking for, does a piece of data have a certain length, or is it above a number of characters? So it could be 2, 3, any number you would want to check it, set it to here. A value lookup, an arrange check, a table lookup, and a format check. Anyway, we'll get on with that now. So obviously we're going to be working on the same database again. The Smart Art database, we're working from that same one we did in part 1. So I've opened it up now. And the structures that we need to set up with suitable validation, the requirements are: a record for an artist will not save without the artist's surname present. So unless the artist's surname has been added, that record won't save. And same for the initial, which will have a length check as well. A record will not save if a gallery is assigned an invalid gallery type. So again, if there's not a properly assigned gallery type, then it won't save either. Not going to save if an exhibition is for an invalid artist. So if you add like Mr. Magoo, but Mr. Magoo doesn't exist in the artist table, it's not going to work, which is important. A record will not save if the number of days is below the accepted range, and also above. So we're going to go through all that. So most rules are created in the design view of a table within the field property windows. So we'll create a validation rule by approaching it one rule at a time. We're going to go into the table first, the database, sorry. So I've opened up my database, and the first place we are going to go is within the artist table, which is here. Open that one. So look. So click on this little icon in the bottom right, design view, table view there, go to design view, and we are going to go to the artist surname, click on the data type, where we've got validation rule, we'll click there, there's 3 little dots here, we click on that. This opens what's known as an expression builder, and that's with this expression builder we can add an expression Now, unfortunately, you might not be able to see this on my screen, but I can talk you through each part of what I'm doing here. I just think my screen capture software doesn't capture it. We're just going to search for is not null, because that's the first one. That's the first rule we're looking for, and I want to capitalize it probably as well. I think it is case sensitive. Null. So is not null. Type that in. And I'm just going to go OK. So that should be added there. If you look, if we go back, validation rule has been set up to is not null. And in the validation text, which is a prompt for the user so that they understand what they've actually done wrong, you put quotation marks, you must enter the artist's surname. Just do it like that, double quotation marks. And then if the user doesn't enter that data, then they will get that validation rule pinging back a message so that they can fix that, basically. So that's good. So yeah, we've got a validation rule done there, and then you'll have a message that pings back when the validation criteria isn't met. And we're going to do a length check next for the artist initial, which is the other one I mentioned we'll be doing. So field size is set to 255. We're going to change that to 1. We don't want it that open, so we need to do that. Though I think some of the data I've already got, then that might be set to 2, but I don't know. We'll look at that later. Now you set the input mask. Yeah, field size 1. We have an input mask here. It's a usability feature that gives a user a clue about what values to put in a field, and it can enforce capitalization. We only want a letter that's uppercase, so the mask is this. That's for uppercase, I believe. So yeah, we do the arrow key and then uppercase L, which means that it must be a letter and convert to uppercase. If it auto corrects to arrow key \L, that is not an issue. But yeah, there we go. So that's cool. We'll save all that. Save. Yep, that's fine. Yep. So there's some data that will be lost because of the previous data I had on the table, but that's fine. You can see it's actually validated that recently, and it's made everything automatically uppercase. That's good. Good little piece of data validation, performed quite fast. So what about value lookup? So if you go to our relationships, we've got the exhibition has foreign keys from artist gallery and table art galleries, gallery ID and artist ID. These are foreign keys. We should use a lookup to ensure that only artists and galleries that exist can be inputted. However, we've already created a relationship for those first. We must delete them in the relationship view. So we're going to database tools, relationships, which we're already in, and delete the relationships. So I'm just going to simply click them and delete them. Yep, we're going to do that. Yep. Oh, I need to close this. Obviously need to close the tables if they're open. Click on them, close them, delete them. Just simply click on the lines and delete. Obviously making sure that the tables are closed, otherwise it won't work. So we'll turn to the table design for exhibitions, and we're going to create a lookup. So go to field name, and go to that one in the corner again. We go to lookup wizard, which isn't an actual wizard, unfortunately. Yeah, on the first option, next, and we want the artist table, which is already selected. And we're gonna go Yep. So table artist, and we've got available fields there of artist ID, which is the one we want. I'm going to bung that across by clicking that. That will bung across everything. We do that, and we're going to do it to sort ascending. Yep, and we're going to click that and click that, select that field, and then we're going to go next, and we're going to go next, and we're going to enable data integrity. That's very important, and cascade delete, and finish. That is fine. So we've saved that. It should be saved now. Oh, okay, I think that worked. Yep, and this relationship is created once more. So I create a relationship again between the two tables, so that has been created again. It's a lookup. So now you can do lookups for gallery ID and gallery type. So we'll just do this, repeat the same process again. Click here, delete. We just need to take in the gallery type. So if I go to the foreign key is here. So if I go to galleries, go to gallery type ID in the design view. This one, go to the lookup wizard. And gallery types table, gallery type ID. Copy that file in. Do this. Gallery type ID. Yeah, ascending's fine. Well, yep. And table data integrity, cascade delete, finish. Yes. Okay, and if I go back here again, what did I do wrong? I didn't save it. Oh, I think I just left that open. Nope. Say again. There we go. So yeah, that was a bit confusing, but yeah. We also need to do that here, I think. Well, I'm just going to do it this way. And then I think that's basically all of that. Oh, let's close that out. Close that, close that. Need to do that one. Oh, that's it. That's it for worksheet 2. So it's a bit of a data validation. I've just done that table up again, but yeah, I think that's it basically. So that's how to perform a bit of basic validation. A bit faster, a bit simpler than the first worksheet. Yeah, basically just remember when you're in the table view that you've got this design view there, a bit hidden away actually. I'm not as used to that from the old Access I used to use. It used to be a bit more obvious where it was, but that's there, so it's a bit more. Also test your validation rules if you wanted to. So for example, if I wanted to go to the artist, let's go artist because I put some validation in here for this, and I can go test validation. Yep, all data is valid. So that's the capitalization, the field size of 1. All good. So all the data in the table is valid data. Cool. Yeah, still got this data in there. Yeah, that's it, I think.
We also need to do a range check on our number of days field, so let's do that now, because obviously there's only 30 days in a month. Save that, it's fine. And go to number of days, and we simply do that like this. It's pretty simple, really. We go to the validation rule, and we go uppercase between. Let's close off. And we go here and right. 3 and 10. So yeah, we need to do it this way for some reason. So we're going to go between, and we're going to go 3 and 10 because we need that specific range for this. Okay, I'll just select this. Alright, save. Okay, so I don't know a save button now. What? Try open it again. Right. I just added that. That one. So yeah, we have to select that expression like that. That's too fiddly, really. It shouldn't be that. I mean, it's fine for selecting it, but anyway, you just need to find the right expression, insert it in. You can't edit it beforehand, and then put in between 3 and 10. Bit fiddly that, but once you know how to do it, it's not too hard. We'll save that. Some of the data I put in before as a test might be wrong. Yes, for example, yeah, we'll put in like 2 now. Oh, that's good. So we're actually getting feedback for that. So it's moaning about it not being valid. So that's a good thing. That's between that. Yeah, I can't. And 5. They're all valid now. There we go. Right, that's range. So you know, if we want to do another one, you'd have like a range with, I don't know. I haven't really got any examples in this one that we can use, but that's that. Everything's looking a bit more structured now. Good. Yeah, tune in for the next one, which will be part 3, and that will be on querying the database. So we're doing query wizards, and that's what we'll be doing in the next one. Alright, in a bit. Hello and welcome to the creating a database part 3. So in this part of the database work, we are going to be looking at creating a query. So what a query is it's a way of querying a database to find out something about the data that we have inside the database. Again, once more, we're going to be working from Richard's worksheet. In the last one, we were looking at validation checks, and in this one, we're going to be looking at how to use queries to select specific data. Now, we're not using MySQL, like I've said before, but this would be like a select from, which we've explored a little bit with the SQL queries, but we're going to have a look at how to actually do it in Access. What we want to do, we want to create a few different queries. The user needs to be able to see which exhibitions have run for at least 5 days. And we need to create a query to display an alphabetically sorted list of commercial galleries that have exhibitions running for at least 5 days. It's got to show the gallery name, the type, and the number of days only. So without further ado, let's do that. Okay, so I'm just going to get this up. Open my Smart Art database again, and let's go. Right, so first thing we want to do, there is a query wizard.
just here. Now, unfortunately, I don't think you'll be able to see this UI, but what we do is we do a simple query wizard. We do that. Menu that will pop up. We want to select the exhibitions. We want to select the number of days. Click on that. I'll do screen grabs of this because you can't see it, it's not been captured. But I select the number of days, and then I select the little arrow button, click that in there, then it's in there. Good. And then we're going to select table galleries, do that now, and I'm going to select the gallery field, which is that one there. Yeah, that's easy enough. From the gallery type, we're going to go there to that database, and we're going to select the gallery type field. We're going to copy that all across, and we're going to click next. And we want to show detail. Yeah, we want to show detail. We click next. They're going to give this the title of exhibitions query. We don't want to call it table exhibitions query, we'll call it exhibitions query, and we're going to make it so there's no space in between that, so exhibitions query. And then finally we are going to select to modify the query design, which is not the default, so we'll do that. Okay, we're going to go finish. We now have a query that we've run on that data, which will allow us to view the information that we've specified, right? We're going to need to sort the fields into sort by ascending order, which is drop down. So we do this in the criteria. So, for example, in the number of days, which is here, we go put this in, is more than or equal to 5. That's a criteria that we're applying to that query. And we want to sort the gallery by ascending. So we go here, and there's a drop down. You simply click that ascending, not descending, so that's the wrong one then. Ascending. Ascending. There we go. So now that will order the galleries from the top A to Z, down, and then we will also be checking for the criteria of runs for more than 5 days, because that's the original specification for the query, right? That's it. That is it. So now if we wanted to open that, we get a list there of the query data that we've requested, also in another over 5. They're all just called blancmange. There's not much test data in there really, but that would work if I added more test data. Anyway, that's how simple that one is. It's pretty easy really. So yeah, the main key things to remember there is querying data. So you can use the wizard, go through the different options, query, think about what criteria you want to apply to the query before you run it, and that's basically it. That's that for that part. We'll move on to